If you're over 60 and your children keep making excuses not to move in with you, or they've already moved out and the house feels painfully quiet, this video will finally explain what nobody is saying out loud. This isn't about blame. It's about truth. And the truth, when you finally hear it, might just change everything. This channel exists for one reason: to give older adults honest, practical wisdom that the rest of the world is too polite to say. Today, I'll walk you through 5 hidden reasons young people pull away, 2 things seniors unknowingly do that push family further away, and 1 powerful shift that can transform your family dynamic starting this week. Stay until the end, because the last reason is the one most seniors never see coming. Hidden reason 1. Meet Donald. He's a 68-year-old retired teacher living in a quiet house in Ohio. His 2 adult children live about 40 minutes away. They call on Sundays. They show up at Christmas. But when Donald suggested they move in together to cut costs and stay connected as a family, the conversation went cold almost immediately. His daughter said she needed her space. His son said the timing wasn't right. Donald smiled and nodded, but inside he was devastated. He kept asking himself one question: what did I do wrong? What Donald didn't realize is that he had been doing something for years without knowing it. Every time his son visited, Donald commented on how he was raising his kids. Every time his daughter came for dinner, Donald questioned her food choices, her work schedule, and why she hadn't called more often. He thought he was being caring. His children experienced it as control. This is one of the most common and most invisible tensions in multi-generational families. Seniors who spent decades as the head of the household often continue to lead even when leadership was never requested. It's not malicious. It's deeply habitual. You spent 30 years guiding those children. The muscle memory doesn't just switch off because they turn 35. But here's what the research on family dynamics consistently shows. Adult children need to feel like equals in a relationship with their parents, not students still waiting to be graded. When every visit feels like a performance review, young people stop showing up for the rehearsals. They love you, but love alone isn't enough to make someone walk into an environment where they feel reduced. The painful irony is that the seniors who struggle most with this pattern are often the most devoted parents. They care so deeply that they never learn to let go of the caring role. And their children, rather than confronting the tension directly, simply create distance as a form of self-preservation. If you recognize this in yourself, don't feel shame. Feel awareness. Awareness is the first door. Ask yourself honestly, when my children visit, do they leave feeling better about themselves? Or do they leave feeling like they still haven't quite measured up? That question alone can begin to shift everything. Have you ever felt like your care was misread as criticism? Tell us in the comments. You are not alone in this. Hidden reason 2. Here is something that most people never say out loud, and it needs to be said. Young people often avoid living close to elderly parents, not because they don't love them, but because being close triggers a guilt so heavy they can barely breathe under it. Think about what happens emotionally when a 38-year-old moves in with or near an aging parent. Every time they leave for work, they wonder if they should have stayed. Every time they go out with friends, they picture their parents sitting alone. Every birthday party, every vacation, every quiet evening becomes shadowed by the question, should I be doing more? Distance, for many young adults, is not abandonment. It is emotional self-protection. If they don't see the aging process up close every single day, the guilt stays manageable. It becomes background noise instead of a blaring alarm. Family therapists who work with multi-generational households have identified this guilt spiral as one of the most underreported drivers of family separation. Young adults rarely admit this to their parents because saying it out loud feels cruel. So instead, they offer vague excuses. They say they're busy. They say the timing isn't right. They say they need their own space. And the elderly parent hearing those words assumes they are unloved. But the truth is almost the opposite. They are staying away partly because the love is so strong that proximity to it becomes painful. When you love someone and feel like you can never do enough for them, sometimes the easier choice is to love them from a distance where the inadequacy feels less visible. Understanding this doesn't mean accepting permanent distance. It means approaching your children with compassion instead of wounded silence. It means creating an environment where they feel like enough, even if they can't be there every day. When the guilt is reduced, the distance often shrinks naturally. What do you think about this? Has a family member ever pulled away from you and you later found out it was more about their own emotions than about you? Share your story in the comments. Hidden reason 3. Let's talk about something practical that rarely gets discussed honestly in these kinds of conversations. 2 generations living under the same roof are essentially asking 2 completely different nervous systems to share the same space. And that is genuinely hard, not because either generation is wrong, but because both are fully formed. Consider the daily reality. A senior who wakes at 5:30 a.m., prefers the television at a comfortable volume, likes the house cool, eats dinner at 5 p.m., and goes to bed by 9 is not living in the same rhythm as a 34-year-old who works late, eats dinner at 8, has friends over on weekends, and needs the house to feel like their own creative space. Neither person is being unreasonable, but together they create constant low-grade friction that exhausts both sides. Young adults who have built their independence carefully, their routines, their decor, their social lives, feel a deep, sometimes primal resistance to surrendering that independence. It doesn't matter how much they love their parent. Sharing living space means constant negotiation, and for many young adults who are already stretched thin by work, parenting, and finances, that negotiation feels like one demand too many. Seniors sometimes interpret this as ingratitude. They think, I sacrificed everything to raise this person, and now they won't share a house with me. But the young adult isn't thinking about sacrifice. They're thinking about survival. They are trying to protect the fragile structure of a life they've worked hard to build. The most successful multi-generational living arrangements in the world share one feature: intentional boundaries, separate entrances, separate kitchens, agreed-upon visiting hours, explicit conversations about noise, guests, and shared expenses. When both generations feel like they haven't surrendered their autonomy, the arrangement can actually strengthen the relationship rather than strain it. Do you think lifestyle differences between generations are a real barrier, or something families can work through? Drop your honest opinion below. We read every single comment on this channel. Hidden reason 4. There is a moment that happens quietly in the life of almost every adult child, a moment when they look at their aging parent and realize, with a kind of cold clarity, that the roles are beginning to reverse. The person who once seemed invincible is now asking for help opening a jar. The parent who once drove everywhere now hesitates behind the wheel. The strong hands that built a home are now a little slower, a little less certain. This moment is not just emotional, it is existential. For many young adults, witnessing the aging process up close every single day means being forced to confront something they are not ready to face: the reality that their parent will not be here forever, and the reality that they will one day stand in the same place. Caregiver role reversal is one of the most psychologically complex transitions a human being can experience. Research on adult children of aging parents consistently shows that proximity to parental decline accelerates anxiety, grief, and in many cases, a desperate need to regain a sense of control over one's own life. Moving in with an aging parent doesn't just mean sharing a home. For many young adults, it feels like stepping onto a road that has no exit, a permanent caregiving responsibility that will grow heavier with time and has no clear end. This fear is rarely spoken aloud because it feels selfish to name it. How do you tell your mother or father, "I love you, but being around your aging scares me"? So instead, the young person says nothing and creates space without explanation. Understanding this fear does not mean excusing permanent avoidance, but it does mean that seniors who want their children closer may need to open a conversation that most families never have. An honest, gentle talk about what the future looks like, what each person fears, and what support might actually look like before a crisis forces the conversation anyway. The next reason is the one I promised you earlier, and it is the one that surprises almost everyone who hears it. Don't go anywhere. Hidden reason 5. This is the hidden reason most videos on this topic never touch. It goes deeper than lifestyle differences, deeper than guilt, deeper than fear of responsibility. It lives in a place that psychology has a name for, but most families never discuss at the dinner table. The real reason many young people pull away from elderly parents is this: they are grieving you while you are still alive. Grief researchers and clinical psychologists call this anticipatory grief. It is the process of mourning a loss before it has happened. When a young adult spends significant time with an aging parent, they begin, sometimes unconsciously, to register every sign of decline. The slower walk, the repeated story, the doctor's appointment that takes up the whole afternoon. Each one is a quiet reminder that time is moving, that this person they have loved their entire life will one day be gone. For many young adults, the emotional weight of this anticipatory grief becomes so heavy that distance feels like the only way to survive it. If they don't see the decline every day, they can maintain the version of you that lives in their memory, strong, capable, present. Distance becomes a form of preservation, not of you, but of the image of you that they are not yet ready to release. This is not selfishness. This is love wearing the disguise of avoidance. And when you understand that, it changes the entire emotional landscape of the family dynamic. The seniors who break through this barrier are not the ones who demand more visits or guilt their children into showing up. They are the ones who create an environment where presence feels safe rather than grief-inducing. They talk openly about life and death without making it heavy. They show their children that aging can be done with dignity, humor, and purpose. They become a living answer to their children's deepest fear, that growing old means losing everything that matters. When a young person sees their parent aging well, aging fully, aging without bitterness, the grief softens. And in that softer space, they find their way back. What seniors unknowingly do. There are two habits that quietly push family away, and most seniors don't realize they're doing either one. The first is martyrdom language. Phrases like, "After everything I sacrificed for you," or "I gave up my whole life to raise you," are not expressions of love to an adult child. They are invoices, and no one wants to visit someone who makes them feel permanently in debt. Your sacrifice was real, and it was beautiful. But love offered with an attached bill stops feeling like love. The second is comparison. Your cousin visits his mother every weekend. Your friend's children move back home to help. These comparisons don't motivate. They humiliate. They signal to your child that they are failing a test they didn't know they were taking, and the most natural response to shame is retreat. Replace these habits with curiosity and warmth. Ask questions instead of issuing statements. Express gratitude for what they do give rather than highlighting what they don't. Small language shifts create enormous emotional changes over time. The one powerful shift. The seniors who stay genuinely close to their adult children share one quality. They stopped waiting and started building. They built lives so full, so purposeful, and so warm that their children wanted to be around them. They cultivated friendships outside the family. They pursued hobbies visibly and enthusiastically. They reduced complaint-heavy conversations and replaced them with stories, questions, and genuine interest in their children's lives. They initiated low-pressure connection, a 10-minute phone call, a voice note, a funny photo, instead of guilt-laden invitations that carried emotional weight. You don't need to shrink yourself to be loved. You need to grow yourself so fully that love has somewhere beautiful to land. The most magnetic seniors are not the ones demanding closeness. They are the ones living so richly that closeness becomes irresistible. Start this week with one thing, one phone call with no agenda, one conversation where you ask more than you tell, one moment where you let your child see you thriving, not waiting. That is the shift that changes families. If this video gave you even one new way to understand your family situation, please hit that like button right now. It costs you nothing, and it helps this channel reach more seniors who are sitting alone with these same quiet questions, wondering if anyone understands. Share this video with someone who needs to hear it today. A friend, a sibling, anyone navigating the tender and complicated space of family and aging. And if this resonated with you, subscribe to this channel. I post calm, honest, practical wisdom like this every single week. Subscribing means clarity will find you. You won't have to go searching for it alone.